And we're back again. 137 is the next video, using the roller if you've got one. And again, having the same mindset to get that detail. Video number 137 will be the Pilates version of the previous workout. So the previous workout was about hip, knee, ankle, in other words, big joint stability and health and strength. This next workout takes you from the pelvis all the way up to the neck, where we get the oblique strength. So sign yourselves in again. Lovely to see you, Janine, Menna, Diane. Great to have you back in the room. There are quite a few of you in, which is grand. We're keeping the roller and we're keeping, you now need a head cushion. Thinking of your obliques. So the reminder is, this is video 137, and we work still with the roller, and because we're lying on our backs, ultimately you'll need a head cushion as well. You need to know that in this workout, because I want to get to your obliques, these are your obliques here. I could do it so many different ways, but I need to keep it as simple because I can't see to correct or look at how you interpret what I asked for, so we'll go from where I want to be. As long as everything you do with me in this next workout goes to this midriff, sometimes one side then the other, then you can't be far wrong. I will also go from the kind of hamstring to the glute, which is the back posterior part of the stability from the hip bones, then to here. You can't do this workout without the breath. This workout's going to start with you sitting on your bottom. I've got my head cushion ready. I think opening moment, because of what we may have just done, should be in seated upright. Sit upright as best you can, and you can use the roller to help you sit more upright. If you sit so that your hands are on the roller, shoulders draw down the back, collarbones are wide open, and breathe as deep as you can as you warm up. The breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, the shoulder blades and the front of the chest, the collarbones, open as best you can. As I press the roller into my thighs and press my thighs into the ground, my knee joint releases any tension going on in there. The breathing in and out, the legs are straight as you can take them. If you're really tight in your hamstrings, don't be afraid of being a little bit further back in your lean. It doesn't really matter. You want your legs straight though. All right, from that position there then, we've got the breathing going. We've found a connection with our sit bones to the floor and the heel of the hands onto the roller and the roller onto the thighs. Let the legs bend and keep that roller on the thighs, and then bend over the roller. You're trying to get your pec area, your breast area, gently against the roller, giving you this natural C shape of the spine behind you. I've got equal weight going through my sit bones. I'm looking down at my roller and going to breathe in. As I breathe out, I'll roll away from the roller, not too far. I breathe in and I stay with my hands pressing against the roller against the thighs, and breathe out again, and I come back, trying to get my pec line, my breast, onto the roller. Inhaling, breath out, push against the roller, push against your thighs and lean backwards. Keep symmetry, that's what this is all about. Breathe in, and then breathing out, pull your chest, pec line, over the roller. Continue so long as nothing's happening in your back. As you lean away, notice whether or not you're failing to press. So press the hands against the roller. And if you follow that with the breathing connection as well, you will notice you get a much more amplified oblique connect. The obliques are rib cage to hip bones. Another cue to keep giving yourself as we do 2 more of these would be, as the breath out takes you back and you push against the roller. On your next breath out, pull the navel to the spine. And see how it assists the movement and makes it a tiny bit more easy to achieve. So remember, breath out, press against the roller, pull the navel to the spine, and find yourself back up. Take the legs straight again. Stay with the sense of the forwards bend of the rib cage over the roller, not the lower back. And then breathe out and push your roller away. Breathe in and bend your elbows and pull it back. Imagine your thighs are pastry and you're pushing against the roller, pressing the roller into the thighs. The palm of the hand is strong, the crown of the head is reaching forwards, and your lower back is not bent. It's your rib cage to navel to armpit. The next time as you push towards your knee, allow yourself to follow the roller till the forehead ends upon the roller and you end up bent over your ribs. Breathe in, breathe out, start to roll back, pull your elbows back and stay forwards, bent over roll. C-shaped spine, seated. Exhaling, start to push the roller past the knee joint, keep the forearm heavy and then follow, emptying out of air on the breath out, in the direction of the feet, forehead to the roller. Breathing out again, roll with the roller, reversing the journey, bend your elbows, and then still one more, C-shaped spine into that cheek. It's forwards flexed spine. The lower back stays lengthened imprint right, but the rib cage to the crown of the head, most certainly reaching forwards and returning back. Once you come back again, we're going into obliques, but this time from behind. I'm not going to stay in positions too long because I'm concerned that people get the right feel. Your next position, and you'll have to work at where for you this is. Think of the bottom of the shoulder blade. Females think of where the bra cuts the rib cage trunk in half. You know it's right because it should allow you to have this head where the crown of the head, if there was a cup of tea on the skull, it would be holding it up to the ceiling. Another way of seeing it is possibly, if your head cushion was there, there's a chance that it's relatively square. Okay, whichever way now. I've now got my thigh bones parallel and I want your feet further away from the knee joint than you think. If you're not sure where your feet are, thighs left to right, right to left, then put your knees together. I then take them normal gap apart. Think of your fist between your hip bones, thigh bones, sorry, and then the lower back, the sacrum which is below your waistband, that sense of it being gently imprinted. It won't touch the floor, that means you've collapsed. It just feels as though it's trying to find the floor. In this position here, if I say to put your hands behind your head, you will already be working the midriff area. To make sure that we're all doing the right thing and the same thing, inhale, allow the upper back to gently lower down over the roller. Now we're finding the abs. Breath out, draw your pelvic floor up, and just gently bend the rib cage. Inhale, it's only the rib cage that opens out fractionally. Breath out, pull the ribs in, almost as though you're bending them half. This is a small impact on the obliques, and me training you to know where to be on this roller. It's as significant as anything else. Don't think that only big feelings are significant. This is a mobilizing feeling, but the ability to trace the roller behind you, remember the roller is to signify to the body a better range of movement and a better core connection. Exhaling. So I'm now going to stay here. As I stay in this position, I'm going to pick up my right leg to tabletop and put it back down. Breathe. Exhaling. Pick up my left leg to tabletop. Inhale and back down. If you want to put your hands on the floor, in fact, everyone do put your hands on the floor, continue. One leg lifts and lowers, breathe. This is where the oblique rib cage, pelvic connect, lift the leg up and lower it back down. So we have your hip flexor and your obliques working. If you keep behind you the sacrum relatively aiming as though it's imprint, you will get the right thing happening. The next time your right leg goes to tabletop, leave it there. Have your hips twisted. Keep breathing in and out. Hello, Diane. Inhaling and exhaling. I feel my bikini area. If you can't feel your bikini area, you might not be in enough of a gentle imprint, in other words, pelvic tilt. Keeping this here then, I'm going to put my right legs up in the air, my left hand's behind my head. I'm going to pull my left armpit and take it away. Fractional rotation. So in terms of my ability, I'm working at probably 20% of what I could really do, but I'm waking up my obliques as part of that. I've got one more. It's the turn of the head and the pull of the armpit, and I'm going to place that foot down. I'm still very symmetrical. I'm going to pull my other leg up. It's slightly different on this side. I've got my left leg in the air, I've resisted any twists at my hips, and I've got the rotation on the breath out and the return to neutral. Breathe out and breathe in. Think of shrinking the rib cage towards the navel, towards the hip bone. Inhaling back, there should be nothing going on in your back. And a gentle activation of everything we say, which is oblique, intra-abdominal area, and maybe hip flexors. Put both hands down, breathe. You've got one leg up in the air. The evidence that you're waking up your obliques is you've now got both legs up in the air. My shoulder blades are flexed up. My sacrum feels as though it's a gentle imprint. I now feel, this is like doing the 100 position. If you're not in the right position, maybe bring yourself a bit further down or a bit further up. Whichever way, this position here will not take you into your back unless you're in the wrong shape. I have to believe you can do this. So I'm breathing in and out. Imagine the 100 position where you're beating in 2, 3, 4 and breathing out 2, 3, 4. Inhaling and exhaling. Persevere at finding the right shape. In terms of the sacrum, my sacrum, which is that bony triangle below the waistband, is definitely feeling very flattened out. But my lumbar can't be on the floor because you just can't do that. If you've got your lumbar on the floor, then you're not in the right place. The crown of the head is reaching upwards. My neck feels lovely because the roller is actually taking this. I've now switched on my oblique abs. It's the 100 equivalent. I'm going to put my right hand behind my head again, keep my left hand on the floor. As I breathe out, I'm going to allow the right leg to lower and tap and breathe in and pull it back. Exhaling, I'm keeping my right hand behind my head, my left hand on the floor. My right leg exhales, reaches away, and guess what? The oblique on the right hand side suddenly working really hard. The pelvis will want to shift. You don't actually have to take this moving leg to the floor. It could be that you just take it up in a diagonal line and pull it back. You're aiming to make your obliques switch on and work hard. This is like any other workout really. The oblique abdominal area increasingly finds its place and it amplifies the workload. The area you should feel is rib cage to belly button as working really hard as it's shortened and contracted. I've got one more of my right leg reaching and returning. Put both feet down again. Put both hands under the head and let the obliques lengthen out. You're doing the opposite range now. You've now got the obliques longer. Breathe in and out to facilitate no cramping. Breathing out, curl up again. The curl is the flexed mid-rib cage. And you're going to take your other leg up into tabletop. Put both hands on the floor. Now take both legs to back to your 100 symmetry. And this time, you'll put your left hand behind your head as you let your left leg reach. Assess it. Don't assume that because your right leg could go low, that your left leg can. Use your breathing out. It's the shrinkage of your midrib. Now, because you've already woken up the oblique area, the second side tends to switch on much more intensely. And all I can tell you is, I really can feel a lovely kind of deeper strength going on as these muscles train for my pelvis to stay stable. Breathing out. And breathing in. 2 more. My midriff, my sacrum square and flat behind me, but my lower back isn't flattened to the floor. Okay, shall we do one more? Yes, let's do one more. And then pull your knees into your chest and place your feet down. Once again, to let the oblique lengthen, allow the thoracic area to extend over the roller. You now experience this lengthening out of the oblique, the contractions become long. You breathe in and out to facilitate restoration of comfort, really. And then we're back to here. Place both hands on the floor, breathe in. Shoulder blades are drawn down the back. Your sacrum is relatively flat. The feet are definitely not tucked under the knee joint now. Hi Helen, great to see you in the room. The pelvic floor draws up, the tummy draws in, and you'll lift the hips up. Have the knees forwards and inviting the hamstrings into action, and then let everything go back down again. Remember, you can have your hands behind your head, just gently tilting the skull as you end up rolling up through the hips. Breathe in, pelvic floor nerve spine, and back down. This is the last one, and this is simply something to free up the hip flexor and the obliques. You can then reach backwards over your roller. You will feel the hamstrings and glutes helping stabilise. The spine feels beautifully supported and being allowed to find length, and the hip opens. We're going to do one more. Your breath out, pelvic curl. Push into your heels, push your hips forward, your knees forwards. Inhaling, allow the upper back to go over that roller. The roller stabilises still under your shoulder area, shoulder blades. Exhale again, pull the chin to the throat and let the spinal area go down, down and down. From there then, bring yourself up to seated once more. We're going for seated roll back to get more obliques. I said this is oblique and flexors, and it really is. Sit up, get your clothing level, make sure your bottom bones know where they are, and place the hands back on that roller. Remember, it's the ability to gently press against the roller so that the roller communicates with your thigh bones and your armpits communicate with your hands and the thigh bones. That gives you the feel. You're going back to C-shaped spine. Pelvic floor navel to spine connect. Settle the sit bones into the ground behind you. And then breathing out, start to gently roll away from the roller, not so far that you can't cope, and stay. This is where we add the oblique twist. Breathe out then and turn the head to look over your shoulder. Inhale and return to center. Breathe out, shrink, armpit, turn the head, keep the pressure of the hands against the roller, against the thighs to keep pelvic stability, and then roll yourself back up. Sitting upright, lift up, press against the roller, put your shoulder blades together. Exhaling, forwards bend the rib cage. Now, take one hand off the roller, turn and pull it down without the roller twisting, bending, or losing its position, and come back. Exhaling, turn the head, take one hand off the roller. You've now got rotation obliques, no rotation of the pelvis though, and roll yourself back up. Do you get the idea? We go C-shaped spine-ish, that means the lumbar spine is definitely in a bit of flexion. Then you open your shoulders, take the hand off, don't let the roller tip up, press down. Now just stay there, breathe, in, 2, 3, 4. That rotation there is rib cage to waistband, return back, breathing. Pelvic floor navel to spine, hand goes off, you feel the obliques, inhale, exhale, and you come back, exhaling and back up. We've got one more. As you go back down, stay. Remember, if it's in your lower back, you've got the wrong position and you need to sort that one out if you can. Instead of moving just the hands now, I'm going to pull the roller onto one hand. It goes straight up, and then pull it back to my thighs. Breathe. Shrink and hollow the abdominals. Going to pull the roller down. It's a vertical pull now, and it comes back up. Let's go again. So to take the roller like so, your shoulder carriage, exhale and inhale, the shoulder carriage, just a little bit of a rotation and lift. One arm down, one arm up, one arm down, one arm up. I hope that makes sense. I haven't cranked my chin in. I'm definitely drawing my chin in Nordic position, crown of the head to the ceiling. The flexors work. The obliques work from the hip bone to the rib cage, and that tiny bit of rotation, and that's all it requires, makes everything really intense. All right, people, put your hands on the roller and roll yourself up and in the direction of your feet. Final position then, to get you open at the hip. If you've done the exercises and found the connections, it should be quite intense on the flex and the obliques. We now need to give them a reward. Taking the head behind the hands. Inhale and let the whole area that you've just shortened and connected open. Exhale, keeping the face looking at the ceiling above you. pelvic curl, pushing into your heels until you find yourself extended at the hip. You're going to pull yourself back and forth with your body sliding shoulder blades across the roller and back. Exhaling and inhaling, breathing out and in. The massage effect here is achieved by the hamstring glute pulling and pushing, but your midriff is most certainly connected slightly compared with what you've just done. All right, make this your last one. And finish with the ability to take everything as far back as your body allows. If you can then let your pelvis go down. So I've grounded myself through my sit bones and I'm in my natural extension, which is your natural lordosis. To get your neck back, pull your head up, stay, and then allow the posture to just flow over sideways like a dancer. On this one, still keep the pelvic bones level behind you at the seated area. You've got that tiny bit of rotation. Coming over like a dancer, you come over the other way, allowing range of movement, which is mobility through the thoracic area. Now you might want your shoulders so that it's forwards of the roller. This all depends on your existing ability of length through the spine. So as you roll side to side to side, it should be pleasant. People, the next time you find your arms forward, stay, and then bring yourself back. And you're going to finish off with your kneeling shape. We do need the stretch through the hip flexor quad area. Now I did this the other day, and I'm showing you from the side now because I think it probably makes more sense. You can tuck your toes under your feet, and then I put the roller behind me. You can hold it if you want. Core connect, pubis, navel, spine, and then lean backwards until you get your thigh stretch. As you open, make sure that there's no rotation. Breathe, breathe, breathe. This isn't in the lumbar. Straight through the quad and back up again. If you're really tight, put the roller behind the knee and find a similar position. You can have your feet flat. Whichever way, we're asking the thigh, the hip. The hip's done a lot of flexing and extending. It now needs to be encouraged to almost actively become open. Play around with this position. It's knee and hip health to make sure that you can actually open these tight fibres, because no doubt we're all going back to seated. Even walking makes the flexors quite tight. All right, make this your last one and find yourself back up. It's over. I am aware that there's lots of technical stuff, and I obviously know what I'm trying to do with the roller. And again, I'd say go back through this video and press pause, press forward, press pause. Keep having a little go and make sure that you can make sense in your body of how the roller, when you can connect with it, gives you deeper feedback. But not just that, it actually a deeper activation takes place of your spinal stabilizers, pelvic stabilizers, joint stabilizers. Anyway, feedback to me, tell me what didn't work, tell me what did work, because we've got a long journey of learning together online, and I'll do what I can to create meaningful workouts. There's no point in me creating a workout and you're thinking, what the heck was that woman on today? Whichever way, stay well, stay safe, and do all the things you're told to do. You're great, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.